Millions of Americans of all colors have bonded together in their anger. They want to change the way many law enforcement institutions contain, punish, and incarcerate the black community.
America witnessed a resurgence of police use of deadly force.
Professor Clarence Glover Jr. is a longtime civil rights leader in Dallas.
Something that should be done systemically and institutionally, and that will last.
Given all the momentum, can taking to the streets lead to systemic change? For answers, I reached out to Professor Peniel Joseph.
Unlike 1968 and the uprisings after Dr. King's assassination, we have a lot of white allies and white people who aren't on the streets nationally.
Joseph calls this moment a generational opportunity and is advocating for local policy changes.
What do you do with the generational opportunity?
We have infused too much investment in the criminal justice system at the direct expense of Black communities, right? We need a drastically reduced criminal justice system in the United States where we redistribute that money and those resources into a new vision.
For example, Los Angeles just announced on Wednesday plans to cut $100 to $150 million from the police budget and instead invest it into the Black community through jobs and healthcare and education.
So we need dramatic, not just reform, but we need investment in cities right now.
That's local, but what about national? That's what I asked Democratic Congressman Colin Allred. He's a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, which is said to be considering 50 different pieces of legislation.
We will have some legislation, as I said, to ban chokeholds. We will also try to end some of the militarization of our police. When we see, armored personnel carriers, people who look like troops showing up on the streets of American cities, that's not what people think about when they think about their police.
More than 400 civil rights organizations are asking Congress for 8 specific reforms. Create federal use of force standards, a national database of officers with revoked licenses, and enhanced accountability for civil rights abuses. Prohibit excessive force, racial profiling, and no-knock warrants, and end funding military equipment for police and legal immunity that protects officers who break the law.
We don't want this to be a situation where we are seeing our officers being used as pawns or anything like that. But we want to make sure that there's some level of accountability.
Those aren't popular ideas in the Republican-controlled Senate. Texas Senator John Cornyn told the Hill newspaper, this idea that we somehow are going to paint all of law enforcement with a brush of racism is outrageous in and of itself, and it's obviously designed to divide the country further. Far-reaching systemic change. There's an appetite for it on the streets, but converting that anger to action will mean marching it into the halls of power. In Dallas, I'm David Schechter.